You're listening to the Oracle Talk Radio Network.
Hello, I'm Sabrina Carpenter.
I'm Dasha.
Hey, I'm Billie Eilish.
What's up, guys? I'm Camila Cabello.
Hey, this is Tate McRae.
I love this station.
I love this station.
You're listening to Chasing Prophecy Radio, where we discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. On the Oracle Talk Radio Network. Broadcasting live in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia.
If it's unexplainable, we're talking about it.
Whether you're a believer or a skeptic,
we cover everything where the unknown becomes the known.
And now, here are your hosts, Jenny Nicasio and Tom Callway.
Welcome to Chasing Prophecy, where we discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. I'm Jenny Nicasio, along with my fabulous co-host, Tom Callway.
Hello, everybody.
Live from Pittsburgh and Philadelphia on the Oracle Talk Radio Network. Hey.
And wonderful episode we got here lined up. And before we get to the introduction of our guests, two people with names who, a lot of people know who they are, and it's wonderful to have them and then pick their brain on a lot of different things. But thank you all, everyone tuning in, wherever you're tuning in from. Just a reminder, we are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, and Instagram, and you can catch all of our shorts on all of the socials of the episodes. And, Tom and Rachel will send you, some of the shorts we make from this, so you guys can post them on your own. And, maybe people like us too, how it goes, all that stuff. But wonderful week, crazy week. Weather again, Jenny. That was a thing last week with you. Another, crazy weather week that we have. Being
oh my God, yes, it was horrible. Oh, it was bad. That lightning struck outside. I found where it hit the tree. It knocked out my garage door, my two monitors, computer. A whole line strip going across my house. So it was a powerful lightning bolt. I mean, you don't get, you guys are out in the West, Midwest, Arizona and stuff like that. Florida, it was crazy. Oh my God. It's like 32 degrees and lightning.
Yeah. We just don't get that where we are, especially rarely do we get it in the summer, but especially in February. So, those ships are coming through the atmosphere. You know how it is.
It says motherships from the Galactic Federation.
Yeah, they're disrupting the weather and all of that. And really, with our guests, we got them because we told them it would be paranormal, but really we're just going to talk about lightning and garages. So
yeah, we're going to talk about garage doors and what else?
all that stuff. But Jenny, go ahead, introduce our wonderful guests.
Definitely. Well, we have Thom Reed. He's an entrepreneur known for founding the Miami Models Artists Group in 1995, representing top clients like Tommy Hilfiger. Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Nike?
Yeah, Tommy Hilfiger.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can never say that word right. After a successful career in the modeling industry, Reed shifted his focus to UFO research and founded the UFOXPO. How do you say that, Tom?
UFOXPO.
Okay. He's also renowned. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a renowned UFO conference, and I watched a number of the videos and film festival. He's best known for his historic Berkshires UFO incident in 1969 and the first off-world encounter to be officially recognized by the United States today. Thom Reed, with a THOM, because I messed that up too. He contributes to Fox Primetime News Station on UAP Hearings. His early life saw him grow up in Colorado and New England, and he later thrived in the fashion industry in Miami Beach. And we also, are we going to do both of them at the same time? Yes, wise all.
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to do Rachel, or you want me to do it?
Go ahead and do it. I got to finish it.
Okay. Rachel. Okay. And I don't. Okay. Rachel. Tom, you didn't send me Rachel's.
Oh, she is on the same email.
I didn't see it on here. It's not on mine. It must have been cut off.
She's an awesome guest, and she has a show.
She's beautiful. She's from Sinister Paranormal. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. She also has a talk show.
I got it right here if you want.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it Rachel D'Amico or D'Amico? D'Amico, originally of San Francisco Bay Area in California, moved to Nashville in 2019. In 2022, Rachel decided to pursue her dreams of investigating the paranormal and an all-female team. In July of 2024, Rachel decided to start her own venture and began Sinister Sisters Paranormal Investigation with her friend Jennifer Blackwell. Their focus is on educating a new crop of paranormal enthusiasts on investigating the realm of the paranormal. And Rachel's passion for the paranormal began at a young age. With her ghostly encounter as a kid, Rachel considers herself an empath and her sensitivities to paranormal energy. As an investigator, Rachel believes there are things out there we don't fully understand, but she needs hard evidence to prove a haunting is real. Rachel currently manages a practice and has spent the past 15 years in both the medical and dental fields in management of various specialties. Rachel's the main host of Sinister Sisters Paranormal Podcast on Channel 12 streaming app, also is the main co-host of The No Vodcast with Thom Reed, which marries her passion for the paranormal and her love of breaking any stereotypes and unveiling the truth behind pop culture phenomena and alternative topics. Love that. Rachel is a co-owner of the up-and-coming brewery Dark Shadows Brewing Company, which will be opening within the next year in the Nashville area. I like that.
Dark
So everybody,
Shadows.
Rachel and Thom.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, this is great. So, Thom, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
So, first of all, I mean, I've read your story a number of times. We tried to get you on Chasing Prophecy a few years ago, back when John Ventry and
Well, that's my guest tonight at 9.
What's that?
Whoa.
That's our guest when we leave here. Rachel.
Oh, really?
John Ventry tonight at 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
it was fate.
that's
It was
funny.
fate.
Yeah, it
that's
is.
weird.
Yeah, John told me about you, and I read the story, and I was fascinated by the whole incident with your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why
I
don't
mean,
you give
there's
us
so
a
much
little?
that, to be honest with you, there's so much that people don't understand or know because not to jump in here, but there have been so many shows about it and they pick parts of it and
Yeah.
watch, Ancient Aliens or watch, Travel. You're like, it looks like two different cases and they name them different things. So it's hard, people are like, is that the same one? It gets really confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Because it
best
wasn't
that
a
we-
one and done,
It's best that we talk about that because we want to get the story straight for myself too, because I was fascinated by it. So go ahead and give us a little background on that.
Well, I don't know what you know, or but
I know you were young. You were young. How old were you? 8 years old?
well, I was actually 6 during the first sighting, but the one that made all the news, I was almost 10. So to give you a little backstory, where are you guys from? First of all, I think Jen, you're from Pennsylvania, correct?
Yeah, I'm in the same town as John Ventry. Yeah.
Okay, and Thom, where are you from?
I'm outside of Philadelphia.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I'm
So-
outside Pittsburgh, so a
All
little
right,
bit
so about
off.
3 or 4 hours from you guys.
Okay.
Back in the 60s, a lot of the money that was being spent on beating Russia to space, the space race, was all going through NASA, which used to be in Boston. I don't know if you knew that or not, but it's still in Boston, actually. It's right across from MIT.
Really?
But back in the 60s, the money to beat Russia to space, a lot of it was being filtered through NASA. And NASA was hiring these manufacturing facilities like Command Aerospace, Pratt & Whitney, Sikorsky, General Electric, Sprague Electric, which was all around my family's diner. And not only were they close to the diner, but there was a racetrack there. It was the second largest racetrack to Saratoga. So you had a lot of traffic. You had a lot of people coming in from Manhattan, Hartford, Boston, Albany. And a lot of these people were getting jobs in the area, but they were bored out of their minds because they were coming from bigger cities and going to this small little town in the Berkshires. So where did they hang out? My parents' diner. And one of the reasons for that was that it was the only spot outside the bowling alley that you could listen to music. So if you're coming from Hartford and you're going to some town, you can't even pick up a station on your radio, but they've got a jukebox in the diner and they got decent meatloaf, and they deep fry their, French fries and bacon fat. Well, let's go there and hang out, right? So that's kind of how this whole thing around our family started, was that those working on the space race used our family's diner for a spot to talk about the secret space program.
Yeah.
And there were sightings in the area. My family and I, we saw what is now recognized as the Berkshires UFO, but quite honestly, there is no such thing as the Berkshires UFO incident. It's my family's incident that was rebranded that by Netflix
Mhm.
or Unsolved Mysteries. So while they were hanging out in our diner, we had an experience. So we had them in our diner talking to us one-on-one with the doors locked, when my mother kept the dining room open in the diner for them to be able to talk with us. Because originally it was like, what if we find something, right? What if we see something? Let's leave a calling card. Let's leave that medallion that was left, the medallion that was left on the moon, the goodwill message. Buzz
Yeah.
Aldrin left it. Well, the guys who manufactured that, used to eat breakfast with me. So
Wow.
after the incident that we had, which I'll get into in a second here, my father was a politician. My father was a selectman, and he took our case before the United Nations in support of General Assembly 33-426, because the activity around the Housatonic River, which was near my family's diner, was also very, what they were seeing sightings in the Housatonic River as well as the Hudson River Valley,
I was
or
just gonna
Hudson
say, yeah,
River
the
itself.
Hudson River.
Right. And so there was this idea that all the talk about the space race and what was being seen in the Berkshires, could that have carried over to the Hudson? Is that what we're seeing, like an overflow?
Yeah.
And on September 1st was the sighting that everyone knows about. About 1992, it was October 2nd, 1992, that our case went before the UN in support of General Assembly 33-426, where my father was killed on the same date, years later. So out of respect for my father, the city and the state and Governor Charles D. Baker and the Lieutenant Governor and Judge Kevin Titus and the Historical Society got together to see if they could do something to pay tribute to our family in honor of my late father losing his life over advocating what so many people had been seeing in the area. And that's kind of how this whole thing about our case became historically true, because we were found to have altered the natural progression of the community, just like Billy the Kid altered the railroad. So as far as what we saw, I mean, it was what it was. We went through the bridge. There was a large sphere, a big white sphere that rose up from the left side of the bridge. My mother drove through a little bit further. There was another orange sphere off to the right of the car, which my brother saw first. And my mother, took the station wagon down this. It was a really old bridge, bumpy. And when it got to the bottom, it kind of bottomed out kind of thing. So we were only going like 5 or 10 miles an hour at best. And there was a clearing. My mother pulled off to the right near a telephone pole. And we were all looking out the window. And sure enough, there was what looked like a turtle shell type of object just hovering about 3 stories in the air. It was like 100 yards in size. And we're sitting there looking at this thing, for quite a while. And then there was like this vacuum, everything felt differently to us. We felt like we were shoved underwater. Everything, like when you're in a deep part of the pool, you can hear those little tapping sounds or whatever, it echoes, but everything else around you is kind of muted. It was very much like that, where it was just like, you're like, and then you hear this bang, tapping sound, like almost like stones hitting underneath your car, but we were already parked. It was like tap, 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 tap. Like when I went to get an MRI once, it reminded me of that a little bit,
I don't like that.
So anyway, that was basically it. I remember being in a large hangar type area. I never said I was abducted in 1969. I've never said that, because I know that we were extracted from the car by government.
Oh, so you think it was the government?
It was more of like an underground facility or one of these manufacturing.
See, now I always thought something happened. So it was government.
Yeah, I remember seeing something off world. I saw a being that was not from this world of ours, but it was government. I've said that from day one. And so did I see something off world, something extraterrestrial? Absolutely I did. But what took us out of the vehicle, they were human. They were government. Where we were taken was a government facility. I've said that since I was 10 years old.
Wow.
But you don't see that, because when they write about it, they
changed it around. So okay.
Supposedly involved in our incident, who, I don't remember him. And you'd think I would know if it was our diner and our incident. You'd think I know this person who claims to be, be part of it, but whatever.
So they just fudged it up a little bit. Like,
yeah, he's got the same name as me. So that doesn't
seems
help.
like they did their own narrative, right?
Sorry,
Yeah.
what?
No, to sell stuff.
Sounds like they did their
Yeah.
own narrative.
Government changing stories? I don't know.
That's not. No, but you know what?
Well,
To this day,
yeah.
I thought because I watched the the videos.
Yeah, and I'm so
They made
glad
it
you.
seem like something came and you
Well,
lost
something did come
time,
and
and
take him. It just wasn't.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
So-
It was the government
so
that took you. The
check this out.
military.
So my mother, when we stopped the car, my mother was driving. My grandmother was in the passenger seat. I was behind my mother. My brother was to the right.
Mm.
When we were returned or brought back to the car, the ignition was off, and my brother and I were in the same spot. His head was on my knee, but my mother and grandmother were reversed. That's
Mm,
human error. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
seriously, do aliens know how to turn off the ignition in a Chevy station wagon?
they're more Ford guys.
I hear. Yeah, they like Infinities too. Matter of fact, I think they love Teslas, right, Rachel? So
The what?
they love Teslas.
Oh,
Oh,
Tesla.
she drives
yeah,
one.
we're Elon friendly here. It's okay. You can mention Tesla.
Yeah.
You know what?
that's
So,
because I own a Tesla. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so we remember there were witnesses that saw people in the woods coming out of the woods with radios on them. There was government cars all around the area because we were working on a space race. They were not just making
Mhm.
parts for shuttles; they were making weapons as well. It was an ongoing conversation. Everybody knew that there was government everywhere in the area, and I think that's one of the reasons that the state itself was able to really get this passed as an historically true event, because everybody knew that. I had never said, gray aliens, grab me, and I don't say that. But I did see what is definitely an off-world type of being, and it is in the Roswell Museum to this day. So I was in the vicinity or in the company of an extraterrestrial. There's no question. But as far as the facts go, they've never really got it right.
Yeah,
What part do you
absolutely,
think
Tom.
that alien played then in this whole thing?
Maybe
does
they were
one-
working with them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it
that's
could
what I'm
be.
wondering.
We've had people on here say the same thing. And just for anybody who's watching, I want to go ahead and show a couple little pictures from the link you sent over, so people have a general idea. Here in Massachusetts, and then more locally, this is where the area had occurred. For anybody who was wondering geographically, and then also this next one, Tom, I want you to talk a little bit about how this came to be. That.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I have the original right here.
Ah,
Here it
side
is.
by side. All right, cool.
And I've got the one from the governor on the other side.
Yeah. And look at you with the paper protector. I love that.
Well, I'm pretty factually supported.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love
after,
this, by the way, Tom.
so I got contacted back in like 2012 by the Historical Society itself, and they called me up and they said, Tom, we're not getting a lot of people into the Historical Society to look at the latest musket ball. That was exactly what they said to me.
Musket ball.
Seriously. Yeah.
There
Yeah.
have been
Exactly.
a lot of advances, though.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. So, do you like this ball or that one ball, or whatever. So anyway, so they said, listen, your father passed, and by the way, I've got this too. I want to show you this, but this is part of the reason I'm answering your question actually. Can you see the date, October 2nd?
Okay, October 2nd.
That's the United Nations. These are United Nations documents.
Wow.
These came back with my father's attorney, Bletchman. These all came back from the
Oh, I love that.
United Nations. Here's my father's attorney, Robert Bletchman. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you look at my father's death certificate,
Uh-huh.
October 2nd.
Oh, October 2nd. Oh my gosh.
So out of respect for my father, and because of what he was advocating, I was contacted again by the Historical Society that had asked me, would you mind taking a polygraph test? Would you mind giving us some more information so we kind of know what really happened here? Because being that they're not coming to see the latest musket ball, maybe we could do something with this and, put a marker here for you or something. I'm like, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And so I abide by everything, I gave them documents. I gave them the original news articles that ran in a newspaper back in the 60s. Just actual news articles. And then WSBS actually played or interviewed some of the people that were witnesses to our event back in 1969. And so there were, the radio station, the newspaper, my polygraph, the fact that it went before the United Nations. And they're like, well, we need more to go on. We need a little bit more because we need what they refer to as source documents. And so an attorney named Debbie Kessler flew to Roswell and used the Roswell Research Library to mine for documentation to submit later on to the Historical Society. And after that was done, authenticated and everything else, then the Historical Society ruled on it. And they said, well, did this happen? There's so many witnesses to it. There was like 250 some odd witnesses. They're like, yeah, I mean, all these people that live here to this day remember going to their diner and having these talks with those who were involved in the space race. The Reeds were talking about what happened to them, which is part of the reason that drove the attention. Also, not just the jukebox, but the fact that we had a UFO sighting. They're working on a space race. Yeah. We had a Blitzer jukebox, 99-cent breakfast sandwiches. I mean, whatever it was, my mom would just lock the door, let them stay there and talk. And a lot of the kids would come in and they'd drop their children off in the morning, would all ride, our little bikes to school together. And so it became like this little family. Then my mom started running tabs for everybody. And because she was a single mom at the time, but a lot of people don't know that either, she kept the place open late for them so that, to make some money. Yeah. And so it became this conversation, this spot to go over details of what was going on, because they couldn't speak about what they were working on while they were at the laundromat or while they're down the road shopping, because it was a secret space program. So they used our facility. And because we also had a sighting, it brought it all together. They put a big bow around it. And then the state was like, you know what? This happened. They rubber stamped it. I got inducted in the state.
I think that's amazing. Before I kick it over to Jenny, I just want to follow up. You're not giving yourself enough credit for that polygraph. I looked that up. You were 99.1% accurate on that polygraph. I have never heard of anything like that. I mean, that's basically the general questions in the beginning, getting them right.
Yeah.
That's a phenomenal.
They kept me over 3 hours.
So you got 99% over 3 hours.
99.1. Yeah.
Look at that.
3 hours they were asking me questions. They were asking me the same ones over and over to see if I'd trip up. I'm like, it's like you asking me, did it happen? Yeah, it happened. What am I going to, it's been with me my whole life. It's one of those things.
I just love that you showed them, because they were trying to get you to trip up and you didn't.
Yeah,
and,
I think
so. Hats off to you.
You listen to this. You're never going to guess who gave me that test. Congressman Tim Burchett's neighbor.
Whoa. Okay. From Tennessee.
Yeah. I lived right down the road from him.
Oh, a great advocate for us.
I go to lunch with Tim.
That's amazing. I love that. But
yeah,
I don't want to take all his time.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. But he's into Bigfoot. Did you know that?
Oh,
get him on.
No.
He's totally into Bigfoot.
Friend.
So, but that's kind of what happened. I think we were. I don't want to be redundant and bore people, but I got a head cold, by the way. But I think what is interesting here is that we had our sighting at almost like the opportune time. It was 6 weeks after we landed on the moon. Those working on the space race had left that calling card, that goodwill message on the moon. And some of them said that they had already intended to leave that because of what happened in the area in 67 and 69. So also, there's 3 actually. This area is buzzing with activity. The first case was 66, then it was 67, then it was 69, then there were crop circles in 1995. It went to the United Nations in 1992. There were crop circles in 2012, 2013. People go there, investigate all the time. There's like a portal or something there. But at the same time, I think our government has also known that for a very long time. And this road that we had this incident on or this experience was a dirt road that was meant for horse and buggy. It wasn't even a main road. It was a very narrow little road. And so this is where we came across this crack that looks like a turtle shell, right? I'll tell you something about the shell itself too. It had like sections in it. I've always said a turtle shell because when you look at a turtle shell, it's got those little kind of squares in it and everything. Yeah. But it was like that if you turn it upside down, it looked the same either way. And it had this big stretch across the middle. So the top was kind of shallow, the bottom was shallow, but the middle of it was fat, made up the majority of it. So the display in Roswell isn't really accurate, but it's close. And it was huge. There were no landing gear, no lights. Oh, here's something else. So when I talked to Melanie Kirchdorfer, the first time I actually met her was when she did Unsolved Mysteries. She mentioned there was like this little red light, this little glow, right? And I'm like, I never said that to anybody that we saw that. There's certain things I hold back because how do I know you're not just making this up, jumping on the bandwagon like that Tom Warner character, right? So I'm thinking to myself, but I knew her because, she used to come in my mom's diner and order grilled cheese sandwiches with sauteed onions with salt and pepper. That's how
that
my
sounds
mother
good.
remembered her. And so when she was telling me that, the top had this reddish glow to it, I'm like, son of a gun, because that was what we saw. We didn't see the craft at first. We were looking out the windows.
You saw the light.
Yes, right. It didn't put out a light. It gave a sheen. Then your eyes focus. It took like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 seconds, whatever it was. And then you're like, son of a bitch, there it is.
Yeah.
And you see it, and you're sitting there looking at this thing and you're like amazed because you're like, we had seen stuff in the skies before, but never really like that close, right? So we're like, we're not far away from it. And we're just captivated by it. Well, I don't think we were saying anything. My mom said something out, she yelled, something for a moment, but the windows were down because we didn't have air conditioning, right? The windows were down, no glare, clear view. I mean, there it was. So.
That's amazing. But you don't know where they took you. The military.
Well, yeah.
You don't have any recollection of where you were?
I remember what it looked like. Sure.
You do?
Yeah.
What did it look like?
This is all clear conscious memory. This wasn't due to hypnosis or any that stuff. No.
Did they take you somewhere underground, like a military?
I think so. You had all these manufacturing facilities in the area working for the U.S. government, and you had U.S. government everywhere. You had the NORAD tower was only about half an hour from our diner. The magnesium that was mined for the atom bomb was only 3 miles from our diner. That quarry was 3 miles from our diner.
Why do you think they took you? Why didn't they just leave you there?
Well, leave me on a dirt road?
Well, in the car.
Yeah, thanks. That's a good question. It wasn't the first time that we had what's the word? Contact of some kind. A lot of people did. That's what I keep trying to tell everyone too. Our family became the key family for this because it was the one that they wrote about. It was the one that we were the ones that had a diner. We were the ones that were talking. There were other people that witnessed it, saw it. Gina Paul was there. Her sister was there. Melanie, of course, is legit. My mom, kids in school. I mean, so this is something else that, and I'm answering your question here, but there were, when you grow up, you got some kids are bratty. Some kids are like, why does he always pick on me or whatever it is, right? You always got those jerks, right? Well, some of those jerks became friends because we had now something in common.
Yeah.
And you something in common. Thought we're friends that started making fun of you. And so our diner became like broken up. The kids I used to sit with, Linda Farrell, who's on my Facebook, she was a great witness to this. We started to shift. You could notice the kids with the suspenders and the thing that they just couldn't get it, their heads around it. And then you had these other kids that, maybe they were now living there. They had moved in from Albany or whatever because their parents were now working on the space race. A little more educated, maybe a little different type of person, just more open maybe. They were more willing to talk about it because they weren't locals. They had nothing to lose. They didn't have, they didn't live there all their lives and want to be looked at as being silly or stupid, right? And so you saw these cliques started, and that was one of the first things I think that kind of helped us a lot, because we were outsiders to begin with. We were from New York. We weren't from there. Anyway, so why do you think they started with us? Well, 9 of us in our family are Rh negative. I'm O negative, Rh negative. My brother is.
Right.
I married Angela, my wife. She was AB negative. My son's A negative. Our whole family, our extended family, we're almost all O negative, either A or O. And does that matter? I don't know. But I do think that we are a species within a species, just like there's different dogs, like there's different horses or whatever. My body temperature runs like 1.5 points below normal. And
oh, wow.
A lot of people do who are O
Mine's
negative.
way under.
Okay. So you're probably Rh
Yeah,
negative.
me too.
There you go. So why would your blood type be the one factor to change your entire body's temperature as a whole and permanently? It shouldn't.
Mhm.
But there's more to it than that. So I think that there is something about the O negative group. I also think that there is a species within a species. I have memories and thoughts and things that I can't explain that I know to be true. It's really kind of weird that way. I've had paranormal activity around my life ever since. I've talked to Rachel about this. I've got this idea in my head that I've had forever that, perhaps there was life here that lived. It's going to sound crazy, but, then again, why not let it out? So I guess,
Yeah.
did we live along dinosaurs? Who's to say we didn't have life living amongst the dinosaurs, that they got wiped out along with the dinosaurs too? I mean, we were talking about the advancements in pyramids. Did they really make them? Did we really make the Sphinx, which came along a lot earlier than the Egyptians' pyramids or the Great Pyramid? That's been there long before that. So they didn't actually make it. Where'd it come from? And so if that's the case, then we could have had intelligent life here long before we realize it. And so with that, our planet also, I've said this a million times, Rachel's probably tired of hearing it, but our planet rotates on a unique axis, which allows us to house millions of species simultaneously. We have brackish water, saltwater, freshwater, desert, right? The whole bit, rainforest. And so it's a perfect spot to bring life, to preserve it, not destroy it. And so I'm wondering, maybe that's what Earth is. Maybe our Earth is our galaxy's arc. Maybe we're meant to be here for a number of different reasons to preserve life.
Maybe.
And if the O negative factor is something of interest, because most people I talk to, believe it or not, who've had experiences, tend to have the Rh negative factor in their blood.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's about all I can say as to why us. But it wasn't just us.
Yeah, others as well.
So
great. I just want to go back to Joe here, saying he's not that familiar with the Sinister Sisters, but he loves the name. Let me kick it over to Rachel.
Yeah.
So, Rachel, let's talk about what inspired you to co-found Dark Shadow Brewing, and also about Sinister Sisters Paranormal.
Oh, well, I think the brewing part came out of kind of COVID for my husband and my brother-in-laws and myself. We definitely had it kind of as a hobby. They started like just sharing beer with one another. And they thought that was a kind of a means to reconnect as family after their mother passed. They started like doing Zoom calls and then just started shipping beer to one another. And then one day we're like, why don't we just try to make our own, and it just really kind of like took off from there. It kind of exploded off. We started doing festivals around Nashville area, and we seemed to be a pretty big hit with the festivals. We would always run out of beer before the festival was ended. So we've been kind of working on it ever since 2020 to find a brick and mortar and make it a reality.
Oh, amazing.
So that's kind of the backstory on that. But as far as the paranormal, I think I've had experiences the majority of my life. And, for some reason or another, I had kids young, and I wasn't able to kind of like focus on that, raising them. And it wasn't until I moved out here to kind of the Nashville area that I kind of stumbled upon another female group of paranormal investigators. And, I was lucky enough to join that team and was a part of it for a few years. And then, personalities don't always mesh. And so, we decided to move on, and I decided to work with my partner. Her name is Jennifer, and we actually worked together in a dental practice together. And so we decided to co-found the team of Sinister Sisters. And so we go and investigate, reportedly haunted locations within mainly Tennessee, but we've also done Kentucky, And this year we're actually branching out a little bit even more. So we're going to be doing Illinois, Iowa,
Oh,
West Virginia, Indiana. So yeah, this year is going to be busy and big for us.
well, I mean, that sounds wonderful. And it sounds like you're all within Appalachia there. And Jenny knows, being out in Western Pennsylvania, a lot of weird stuff has
Oh
happened.
yeah.
From paranormal to cryptids, UFOs, orbs, mountain monsters, cave people,
Yeah.
or people that live
Dogman.
underground. Dogman, that's another one. Um,
Yeah.
I guess, can you share any cool stories that maybe people wouldn't know about, or any findings
Yeah.
you might have?
I've got a few. Uh, so we investigated, and I've probably been there, I would say like 4 times now. It's a place in Franklin, Kentucky called Octagon House.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did a couple
it's pretty well
stories and
known.
group went there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very strange place. The building itself is shaped like an octagon. It was built by a Masonic, um, carpenter, I guess you want to call it. He was big into putting all of the practices into place in that one building. But he also, like the grounds, I mean, they
Yeah.
had so much history to it. It was big during the Civil War. They kind of has sympathized with the Confederate soldiers and kind of hid a bunch of them on the land before the Union soldiers came across. And then a big battle happened as they were coming into Franklin, and it happened right on that property. So they, out in the field, there's supposedly just bodies buried everywhere in mass graves. And Octagon Hall became sort of a hospital to treat a lot of the wounded during that battle. And so we've had experiences in that building itself. I've had experiences where we've heard footsteps. We've heard voices that sound like, you're in one room, like the main kind of living room they used as a living room area. You can hear like voices that sound like they're coming from the other room and nobody's there. I've caught on my thermal imaging. I caught out in the field, like I was on the outside deck of Octagon Hall, and I was looking out towards the field with my thermal camera, and I got what looked like a person. It was shaped like a person, a thermal heat signature of a person. But the legs didn't go to the ground. The legs were like they were chopped off.
Oh.
And that's one of actually, and the gentleman who used to run it, he just recently passed away himself. His name was Bear. He is known a lot as Papa Bear to the paranormal community, because he's been in the paranormal all the way back to like Hans Holzer. So he had many years as a paranormal investigator, but he said like everything has happened on that property. He said there's a portal out there. I took a picture of the field my very first time there, and I have this weird column of light in the middle of,
wow.
And I took a succession of pictures of the field, and only one of them has like this solid block of light out there. And I showed it to him, and he was like, that's exactly where the portal is. So I was like, what?
I didn't know quarters.
Yeah. And inside the building, I caught also in one of the rooms that they used as the hospital, there was with the thermal too, except for it was as tall as the door, at the height of the door.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was like almost 7 feet tall. And it was dark blue. So it was kind of like a shadow figure, because it was colder than everything else in the room. And we were with a bunch of different investigators, and something just told me to go over there with my camera. And I walked in the room and I saw this thing, and there was another investigator, and he came along and he was like, do you see that? And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm filming it, but he was just blown away, because you couldn't see it with your eyes. You could only see it because the thermal is picking it up, like the difference in temperature. That was the only way you could see it. So that place. And then we've had an experience where we think it was what they call a rake. on that property. So that's another cryptid that looks kind of like a mole, like sort of a human moles sort of thing. Though we think that that's like might come in and out of dimensions on that property. And we've had other investigators tell us they heard that they had like a ghost train come through there. So there's just like so much on one piece of land. And Barry used to say that it was because it was along that 37th parallel. So they also had UFO sightings on that property. Also Bigfoot. Is just like crazy. Like all the stories that have come off that property over the years.
That's the
that's the rake.
That's the mole.
That's the mole.
He's kind of like the mole person. Yeah.
He's creepy.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't want to meet up with him at night.
Oh no, we were out in the barn area, and in between there's like two barns. One that's still you can go and investigate in, and the other one is just like you can't go in there because it's about to fall over and it's dangerous. But we had walked out of there, and because we got this really, like, I don't know, sort of impending doom sort of feeling that all of us got at once. And so we got out of there, and this one investigator, this dude was just like, I'm going back, we were like, we don't want anything to do with that. It doesn't feel right. We want to go back to the house. He was adamant about like going back and trying to capture this creature. And it freaked him the hell out because I think he saw it like just moving from one barn to the other barn. And then he believed, he was like, oh no, I got it. He scurried back to the house after he saw that thing. We felt it, didn't really see it, but he was over there trying to capture it on film, or he was going to try and like, instigate it to show itself. And when it did, that really spooked him.
Rachel, do you do anything to protect yourself before you go into these locations?
Absolutely. Yeah. We 100% believe in doing what we can to protect ourselves. So we always put crystals on our body. We always like, one thing we say all the time is it's about what intention you bring with you when you go to investigate. And so we always have like this intention that we are there to communicate positively with whatever wants to communicate back to us, as long as it's going to be of positive nature. Otherwise, we don't want to be there in that space with that kind of thing. And so we've always told anybody who investigates with us, if you feel uneasy, trust your instincts, and we will move away from that space, So we do that. We're always just respectful, because we're just like, if it truly is like, people that were, or, spirits that were once people that we're communicating with, right? We're going to be like respectful to them, because that's how we would want to be treated. And so we always do from that perspective. We always end up with like, a lot of activity that a lot of people say they wouldn't normally get in that spot. So I don't know. And it's all about who you investigate with, and your collective energy, I think, really, speaks volumes. And then before we leave, we're always kind of like, we thank whatever was communicating with us, but we tell them, you stay here. This is your space. This is your home. We're going to leave. We'll come back another time and visit, but you're going to stay here. And then as soon as we leave, we're like sage,
Sage.
Elves, yeah. Or Palo Santo, whatever somebody's dog, but yes. Yeah.
Oh,
so that's what we kind of do to protect ourselves. And
yeah, no, that's great. Sometimes, I would say, Jenny, out of the people we ask about that's definitely one of the more in-depth cleansings that they do. Sometimes people are just, I said, no, I don't, or, something very simple. So, and I was thinking, Jenny, who would be great for them too? Who we had last week, Jill Shelley with that Boyd House.
Oh yeah.
I've
You
heard
know,
of the
House.
Boyd House. Yeah, I've heard of it.
I'll make an introduction at some point here that you
Yeah,
guys
I love that.
talk because they're gonna have a big old event, going
Yeah,
on.
Yeah.
And,
It's
like
all
a Paracon or something.
yeah, something like that. It's going to be really fun. Um, but I know you guys have John Ventry, which is going to be a great interview. And
yeah. Tell him I said hi.
Yeah, yeah. tell him
We
your friends
will.
over here
I
said
wanted to
hi.
share something with you before we go, though. Do you
Sure,
mind?
sure.
Okay,
No,
so
go
we were
ahead.
talking about, or Rachel was going down this path, and I'm not sure if you're aware that when we left, Canaan or that area with the Berkshires, my father ended up buying a different house. We had, okay, I have the original articles from when I was attacked by police officers. We were beaten,
Attacked.
yeah, over what we experienced. I mean, these are the original.
I'm sure they
Wow.
would attack you back
Right.
then. Yeah,
So it got
absolutely.
really bad for
They
us.
were
right? So
charged
we
with
moved.
assault.
We moved, and my father ends up buying the house where that murder took place, called A Death in Canaan. Do you remember the movie, the book with
Yeah.
Brian Dennehy?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I lived there,
Oh, jeez.
and so yeah.
Woo.
So after everything that happened with us, with the UFO and the issues we had and all this kind of thing, and there was this black dog that was seen everywhere. All these kids would see this black dog, then it would be gone, then it'd see it over here. All this stuff that was happening in and around that area was just insane. So we buy this property for 4-acre apple orchard, the house, the cottage, the barn. And I go over there, and I couldn't even be in the cottage where the death took place. I mean, it was just nauseating to me.
Yeah.
It hit me in
Wow.
such a way I couldn't even be in there. The Warrens actually came down, Ed and Lorraine, back in like 1980, 81, I think it was. They came to the house, and they didn't investigate it. Just stayed in the driveway and were talking with us, and they're like, "No, there's something wrong here," and I could tell you that. But anyway, ever since I've had these, like she said, like I would see something with no legs or something like this wall that would come and stay 3 to 4 feet off the ground and just move, this black wall. I've had right behind me, I've had shadows go across the wall. I mean, we did a podcast. We were talking about
Your
something
Anubis dog.
placed right behind me, and it was like nothing broke. And we hear footsteps on the, I'm upstairs with my girlfriend or whatever, and I hear footsteps. Like, I'm gonna shut the door. It's like nobody there, right? The door's locked. Like, that was weird. So someone's a voyeur. But anyway, it was just like, all my life. And so I asked myself, and I've talked to Rachel about this a little bit, like, where's it coming from? Did something open up when I had my experience back when I was a kid?
Probably something opened up.
Is it
That's
because we lived at that home? I still have things with me to this day that were in that, what used to be an old post office that was rented with a woman, Barbara Gibbons got killed. I still have some of the stuff that came from the house in my garage.
Well, that's probably why. If you're still having incidents, maybe it's attached to the items. You don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But I've got an Anubis dog behind me. You see? I don't know if you can see that.
What is it?
Right back there.
Okay.
What is it?
Oh,
Dog's,
yeah,
it's
by
like
the
a
door.
statue.
Yeah, it's got a little puffy face, like swollen, congestion. But ever since I got him, it's like the activity at this house is like slowed so much.
Maybe he's protecting you.
So
That's
what
what I
I'm thinking.
said. Yeah.
All this stuff sounds wild, but it is what it is.
We can't explain some things.
Yeah, maybe some things weren't meant to be explained.
Yeah,
that's true.
most definitely.
By the way, you guys remind me of our show.
Yeah.
One with the hat, one without. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
She was originally supposed to wear a hat, but she has a big head.
I would have too many hats. I wear too many. I wanted to switch it. I usually wear top hats, but
oh, a top hat. That's cool.
I'm
Yeah,
switching it up.
Jenny. We got to bring steampunk Jenny back.
Right, that's a cool look. I like that.
Yeah. Check our previous episodes. You'll see. But I know you guys have to go, but I wanted to give you guys each a minute or so to talk about, where can people find you, promote yourself. We'll start with Thom, and then we'll go to Rachel. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to be speaking at John Ventry's event, April 4th.
Really? Maybe I'll have to come.
Maybe you guys can stop in.
Yeah, that's not too far from me. It's like about 20 minutes.
Yeah, Joe, I love the hat too. So we got that coming. As far as our show, our podcast, so I was on UFO Man. We had like 40,000 subscribers, and I left because I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I was talking to Rachel about it, and we came up with a no because we want you to get in to recognize other people, get to know them. We weren't a UFO show. a paranormal show, a ghost show. It was just about bringing interesting people who have more defined, if you will, by their life altering experiences and get to know them and what took place. So we've got a lot of contacts and, celebrities and musicians. We've had Jimmy Bell on, who toured with Joan Jett, Dean Haglund. We've had on, I got the guy from Quiet Riot coming on, the drummer from Dokken, you name it, so a lot of people that other shows don't discuss or bring on to interview because they're hard to get a hold of, for one thing.
Yeah, really.
But I've got some contacts who help me in that area.
That's awesome.
And so that's kind of what we thought we'd do, is just bring on interesting people that you don't normally hear from. And that's why we called it The Know. And, Rachel's been great. We've got great guests that seems to be doing well. Like I said, we're on Rumble, we're on YouTube, and we're on Roku now. So it's KNOW.
Yeah, I used to have a show called In the Know.
She's great.
Well, there you go. So ours is The Know.
We are really just one,
wow.
two, four
and you
people.
got the hat. You're sporting the same style
We
here.
must be connecting somehow on some level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
definitely.
archangels are Michael, all of that kind of stuff. Real quick before I get to Rachel, I put the name, The Know Vodcast, with both your names in the chat. So anybody who reads this later, they'll be able to find you that way. And Rachel, go ahead.
Yeah. So, like Tom said, I'm a co-host with him on The Know, but recently I just started with Jennifer. We're starting a Sinister Sister podcast as well.
Awesome.
Focusing more on the paranormal side of things. Everything paranormal, I think, is our goal. And love of like horror movies and all things spooky. So that's on it's actually on a channel 12 is called. It's like a streaming app. So we're over there. And then I'll be speaking at a few different Paracons coming up. The one in April in West Virginia. And then I'll be up in Indiana and also Illinois, like the Rock Island Paracon up there too. So
it's awesome.
That really is awesome. Please be friends of the show. When you start your podcast, come back on too. We'll
definitely.
Help you. We
Why
do
come on
talk about horror stuff
Sure.
too. We devolve.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on
our
ours.
main topic if you haven't found
Why
out
don't you
yet.
come on our show?
We love all that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
So.
Well, come on. Just let us
That'd
know.
be great.
Yeah, wouldn't that be kind of cool?
Yeah. Flip the script.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's great
watched
having
one
you.
movie and talked
I'm
about
glad
it.
we cleared that up with about the Berkshire.
Well, we
thank
could
you.
touch on it. I could go for hours. There's so many
No.
little things I want to tell you, but we only got an hour program. But
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, all I would say about the Berkshires too, the Berkshires UFO, is that it's not called there. If you look, this is something that's real quick. If you were to look up the Berkshires UFO, there is no such event. So it's the September 1st, 1969 event, which involved our family. So yeah. So when you did that, it's kind of like my father died for nothing.
No, that's true.
So that's why I really stick to my guns about it, because it's important to me to I'm writing a book about it too, and there's so many things that are going to go in there that a lot of people aren't aware of. And one more thing. Have you ever heard of seeing a black dog and then it disappears? And have you ever heard of anything like that? Like
hellhounds and things like that. More so I hear of like ABCs or the cats, big black cats, you know what I mean? And that sort of thing, but not a dog. No, not so much.
Yeah. They named it the magic dog.
It was go look that up. The magic dog.
As kids, yeah. And it was being seen all around the same time. It was all over. It was a huge black dog, and you'd be riding your bike, and a kid would stop because he didn't want to, he was scared of it. And then before you know it, it's gone, and somebody else sees it, a mile down the road. Just something weird I thought I'd mention to you, because we don't talk about it much, but my cousin mentioned it to me, who's in Arizona, and said, why don't you ever talk about it? I'm like, I don't know.
I'll have to look it up.
There actually was
a big black dog in the Berkshires. Yeah.
Jen and I were on another podcast where the guy was talking about that he's doing a whole documentary about a dog that kind of like sort of shapeshifts, not fully like a werewolf, but not fully human either.
Shape-shifting dog.
Yeah. So maybe it's something like that.
Maybe. Maybe it's
have
something like Bigfoot goes in these portals to a different dimension.
Yep.
That's my
I
theory.
totally believe in that.
Yeah, that's where I cast my vote.
There's
Yep.
too many
Same.
dimensions out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
I'm
it
in the
was
wrong
great
one.
having you on the show. You guys have a great show. Like I said, tell John I said hi.
Absolutely.
We
He's always
will.
welcome
Have a great
back.
show.
He was our co-host for a while. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow, John was. Oh, no way. Okay, I'll tell him you said hey. Yeah, absolutely. Nice guy. Yeah.
All
All
right.
right,
You
guys.
take
Thanks
it
so much.
easy.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was interesting. Cleared up some things that I
Yeah,
kinda
no, I love that. You know what I mean? I really do. I love that. Because we want people to get the story right. And you saw how much it
Yeah,
was,
but
how important it
Tom,
was to him.
I wanted it to be aliens and
Well,
UFOs.
he did say he saw an alien.
He didn't. He said that he doesn't think that he was abducted.
Well, let me put it this way. Would you be disappointed, okay, if you found out you have the book of answers, right? You open it up and you say, most aliens are here on Earth and work for the government.
Yeah,
you
they
be-
do. I'm disappointed because they probably do. I mean, that's where we
Okay.
got probably a lot of our technology. We know that. I mean, come on,
Fiber
think about
optics,
it. How
jet
does this
propulsion.
even work? What we're doing? How does this work?
I
don't understand it. So this is all to me alien technology.
Well, it's all fiber optics, and fiber optics
Yeah, but I don't.
conveniently was founded, invented right, a few years after Roswell.
Yeah,
And a
that's
lot of people
because
are
the
making that
aliens told us about it.
yeah, a lot of people are making that assumption that it came from Roswell. But
So you are
there-
sick, Tom. You can't fool me.
oh yeah.
When did you get sick?
See, it was this morning, and it just got a little worse like right now, to be honest with you. I've been fine the whole day. And Joe, he can vouch for me. Unfortunately, the Nerd Informer last night, their guest bailed. Like they just never showed up.
So you
And I
went
said,
on?
"Hey, I'll hop on with you." And I kicked it around for like 30 minutes with him. You know what I mean? Just, talking about, the JFK stuff and things like that. And he can tell you I was fine last night.
Gotta take some vitamins.
Yeah. You know what's
Oil of
good?
oregano.
What?
Oil of oregano.
Is it a pill or
It's a drop and you swallow it and drink it, chase it. It's disgusting. I would try to see if you can get it really quick on Amazon and take it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
It
I'll
works.
definitely
It'll
do
get
that.
rid of it right like that.
I use coldies. You ever see those drops, coldies?
I don't like coldies. They don't work and they hurt my throat when they taste
Really?
like I hate coldies.
Okay.
I would just double up on I would take some hydrochloroquine. I would take
What
some
was the other
vitamin
one?
C.
I have a whole organic Aaron, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for sharing this out there.
The outer realm. That's our
Oh,
Michelle
gee.
show.
Yeah, if it's the Outer Realms Paranormal, maybe you can skip that one next time. But no, I have a bunch of organic medicines and things like that, and tea and honey, local honey.
Yeah,
Are you a
that's
fan of
true.
local honey or no?
What?
Local honey?
Do I have any?
Well, do you like it? Do you take it every spring?
Honey?
Yeah.
I mean, I have honey in my tea and stuff. I'm not. My son is a honey freak. He wanted. This is so. My son's afraid of bees, and he wanted to have bee farm. He's
Oh
so
no.
scared of bees.
No,
Yeah,
so
he wanted to
local
have.
honey is honey that's produced by bees only in your area.
Oh
So
yeah, we have local honey.
okay.
Yeah, I'm
And
not really fond of honey. I mean, I like
no?
cod honey on pizza. That's about it.
Okay.
But you got to you got to go in a sauna or something.
I
Get
know,
rid
take a
of
really
that.
hot shower, get all that out of there.
Yeah,
But
but it's.
let me get your opinion
I
on this
am.
real
I
quick.
have. I'm like. I have like. What's that called when you can't stop moving?
Fidgety.
I don't know. I think I have attention deficit disorder or something.
Well, here, I'll turn your attention to this. Watch these two clips and tell me what you think.
We'll be conducting investigations into the following: the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and Dr. Martin Luther King, unidentified aerial phenomena, also known as UAPs, unidentified submerged objects, also known as USOs, the Epstein client list, the origins of COVID-19, and the 9/11 files.
Yep, I did it.
First
I
one.
did.
Let me do the
on that.
second one.
I don't know so much about like why is it important to talk about JF Kennedy because he's dead. It's been 50. How many
Yeah.
years? But the disclosure stuff, yeah. But they're never going to tell us anything. And the Epstein files, yeah, I want to know who's on that list.
Here, let me play
Our
this.
first investigation will be announced, but it's going to be covering on a thorough investigation into the John F. Kennedy assassination. And I can tell you, based on what I've been seeing so far, the initial hearing that was actually held here in Congress was actually faulty in the single bullet theory. I believe that there were 2 shooters, and we should be finding more information as we are able to gain access into the SCIF, hopefully before the files are actually released to the public.
So, what does it matter though? Because they're gone.
Well,
They're dead.
I hear you with that. But what it does do is it tells you that what you know isn't what
Because
you
they
know,
lie.
and that they lied. And what else could they be lying about? It's not going to be the end all be all. But what gives me confidence for the first clip of talking about UFOs, UAPs, USOs, 9/11, COVID-19, is
Yeah,
that
they're liars.
but that's more relevant to us than JFK.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I want to hear.
So what basically my question to you is, if something comes out and it was proven somebody covered something up, Fauci, Biden, somebody maybe we don't even know yet, what would you like to see happen?
To them?
Yeah.
But they're not, because he already got pardoned. Didn't he get pardoned?
I mean, you can't be pardoned for your life.
Well, he can't go to jail.
You don't think?
Not if you've been
You
pardoned.
can make charges up for anything.
But I know, but wasn't he pardoned for all that? Was he pardoned? I don't know. Was Fauci pardoned? I don't know. I know he pardoned a lot of people. So they can make up a charge and send him, they can just put him in jail, make up something.
You can, yes. Oh, no, you're right. It was a preemptive pardon.
Yeah, so he can do anything he wants.
Oh, that's awful.
I know.
That's like a blank check.
So he is pardoned for any crimes, even after anything he does in the future?
Let's see.
Or is it just in the past? I don't know.
So this was back in January 21st. President Joe Biden issued a preemptive pardon to Dr. Anthony Fauci. What does it say? Yeah, the pardons prevent Fauci and others, like the other people that he pardoned, from facing prosecution in the future.
That's not fair.
It says it right
what if
here
he does a crime? Wait, I mean, if he commits a crime now, he can still not go to jail.
So this would have to be.
Yeah,
okay,
really.
Okay. So if he goes and murders somebody, that's different. That it's not. It's only in the confines, and that's where the lawyers would get into the definitions of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just tell you this: they're saying it doesn't mean he did anything illegal; it's just protection. But where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean? That's rough. I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah, Trump has described this in a text to NBC News as disgraceful, and many are guilty of the major crimes that we won't get to investigate. So,
it's not fair.
No, it really isn't.
It's not.
How many people lost loved ones? You know, how many people lost?
How many weddings were ruined? Funerals, couldn't say goodbye to your loved ones.
I'll just never forget that image of them taking the bodies out of that New York City old folks home in bags and just throwing them in the back of a truck. And 2, the image of people who have to stand outside of the window of like their, mom has dementia, dad has dementia.
It's not right. How they could do whatever they wanted to do. I don't know. That shall never happen again.
But wouldn't you want to know? Wouldn't you want them to investigate like what Trump issued Representative Luna to do, being head of this task force?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't see the point in the JF Kennedy files. I think that's stupid. I mean, I don't know.
I hear you with that because he's dead, and if
He's
something
dead.
happened that was wrong, who are you going to hold accountable?
Yeah, it's like you can't. I mean, so there was 2 shooters. So what are you going to do? They're
I hear
dead
you,
now.
bro.
It's how many years ago? Rest their family. So stupid.
You can.
I think that's a big waste of taxpayer money. No, the COVID and the Epstein files and the alien disclosure. I think that's more a valid.
Yeah, and I think there's really no reason why that can't be turned over. You know what I mean? If you wanted an RSVP list of somebody's wedding, you can get that. It's basically the same thing of people who came to that. You know what I mean? And if you don't incriminate anybody, which means I'm not saying you did something, I'm just saying here are the people that went on a plane to that island.
Yeah.
That's the way you have to approach it.
Well, no, I think people should be accountable for. I mean, if they went there and they were participating in something like Diddy did, you know what I mean? It's like they think they should be held accountable, and they, ruin their reputation. You hear like Ellen DeGeneres was involved. Some people think Oprah Winfrey. There's the Clintons, both of them. I mean, come on, and they should be held accountable.
I have somebody, I won't give any names, but who claims that they or somebody they know and respect has seen that, and I can't remember the name of it now, but it's the video of Hillary and was it Huma Abedin? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Killing and sacrificing a young woman and drinking their blood.
Oh yeah, I think they do that because they're sickos.
But there's apparently a video.
I mean, that's when Alex Jones went to what the hell was that place called? Oh, it's on top of my. Oh, come on. What's that island? It's on an island. It's in California, I think. Oh my God.
What, like a prison, an island?
No, it's a place where the elites go and they do all kind of weird stuff.
Oh, Bohemian Grove?
Yeah, Bohemian Grove. I can't believe I can't remember what that name was. Yeah, I mean, they do, all those rich people do that. They think that drinking the blood of, and it's not just that, it's that hormone.
Adrenochrome?
Yeah, adrenochrome, that they kill little kids because that hormone is they torture or they scare the kids to death, and then that they produce that and they take that out of them. It's supposed to make them young. I don't know. It's crazy.
Mean, you want to talk about stuff scarier than any aliens or UFOs or ghosts? It could be happening right around us.
Yeah, and all that stuff with Pizzagate, that was all real. I mean,
in New York,
they do all that. I mean, those people who are rich and they got there the only way they got there was they sold their soul. Come on. I know how hard it is to become a published author, and I'm not going to do that kind of stuff. And I know a lot of these, I don't care. There's like Stephanie Meyer's with the vampire books. And then there's the Harry Potter lady, J.K. Rowling, and she was into witchcraft and stuff. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
They sold their souls. I'm sorry. Because, I mean, those overnight sensations. I mean, they just all of a sudden they become billionaires. They wrote one book. Like she did Harry Potter. That's the only one that became famous. I mean, really big. And then there's Stephen, not Stephen King's. He's gone. He's gone. He went down that path a long time ago. But like Stephanie Meyer's, one night she writes a book because of a dream, and then she becomes she's a billionaire because of that. I don't know.
I forget her name.
All these movie stars.
And you can't tell one from the other anymore.
I mean, there's Lady Gaga. Even Lady Gaga told everybody she sold her soul on national television.
Yeah.
And then there's these ones that sold their soul and they're coming back and they wish they could take their soul back. They can't. You already sold your soul.
Yeah. I mean, sorry. There was one woman, and she was a minor character on Orange is the New Black. She was I don't know if you've watched
Oh,
that
I know.
show.
She is on TikTok and she's talking about all that. The
Yeah,
little one.
she was offered. Do you remember her going on a podcast after podcast and saying
And she was
was
telling
offered?
everybody they're all devil worshippers. All of them. And they want you to join their little group. And if you don't join it, then you're outcast. And I think that's what's happening with Baldwin. You know, the Baldwin brother. I think he totally lost. He's so into religion now. And they've seen, look at Justin Bieber. He knows all that stuff. He's been abused.
Yeah.
They're all switched over. You see, there's a whole group of actors that left Hollywood. There's Mark Wahlberg. There's Mel Gibson. There's Jim Caviezel. There's the one English guy. What's his name? The comedian. He's a reborn Christian. What is his name? I can't remember. He was a comedian. Now he's got baptized and everything.
I don't know who that is.
What's his name? I forget. He's a comedian. He's English. I'm sure you know who he is if you see him. And
Russell Brand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They all know. They've all been awakened and they know what kind of it's Hollywood.
Yeah.
Is bad. I mean, it is really bad. And there's so many things that these young women had to do to get a movie, and then they all came out. Hi, Michael. They were all paid. Yeah, they're starting to take each other. Yeah, and it's amazing how that's what Mel Gibson is doing with Trump. Mel Gibson. Who else is involved in that? Trying to turn Hollywood around.
Oh, Wahlberg, Stallone.
No, there's Mel Gibson. Who's the other guys?
Wahlberg.
There's three of them. Huh?
Mark Wahlberg. He's in that.
And is it Jolie's dad? Is he involved in it too?
Julie's dad?
You know, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. The guy from Anaconda, John Voight.
Yeah. No, they're so Hollywood is in trouble and they're going down. One says all that lists, or even that one Diddy, all those people he's involved with. And, that's what Alex Jones has been talking about for, Sylvester Stallone. That's what Alex Jones has been talking about for years. About how
they railroaded him.
Bohemian Grove and all those elites, and they're drinking of the blood and they're sacrificing. Who knows? All those missing children in Hawaii. It was like, where did they go?
Yeah.
Did you see Sound of Freedom?
The Sound of Freedom? No, I haven't.
You definitely have to watch it this weekend because it's all about that, about the trafficking of children, and they have to find out what happened to those kids in Hawaii. They have to.
Yeah.
I mean, and then there's the kids the little kids that came over the border and they're missing. Okay. These little toddlers and little kids, and where they're at.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a game. It's a very lucrative game for them. Middle of the 50s, we secure the island halfway point, a refueling point to go across the ocean. You build Hollywood on a fault line. Now, say what you want about the paranormal, but there is a more electronic, magnetic fields during fault lines, during volcanoes, during all of that. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
It's one big portal, that fault.
Well, even getting back to like J.K. Rowling wrote a book about witches. Stephanie Meyer wrote a book about vampires. Yeah. And they became sensations. I haven't seen one book become a sensation about something good. And just kind of, even there's the 50 Shades of Grey, that's does S&M and stuff like that. Those all become good. I mean, sensations and become billionaires. And then that's it. You don't hear about it. So that to me is they sold their soul.
Because it gets more people open. You know what I mean? You're never going to fling that door open. You know what I mean? You need to jam it and then put like a stop in there and then creak it a little bit and then creak it more. You know what I mean? You're never going to fling it open.
No, it's just, that's the way it is. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, but
I know.
I don't know. Whatever.
What are you going to do?
I am so, I got this nervous habit. I scratch myself.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I do.
You got to get in bed and have just red lines all over
I got scratches all over me. I never had that problem before. Where I'm like,
it's you like put oven mitts on.
No, it's like it's agitation. When I think of stuff like that, I get itchy.
Yeah,
that's the devil.
You're a fighter.
He's trying to get in there.
You're under Archangel Michael's.
Yeah, he's trying to get out.
Well, he's a light warrior. He wants
How
to
do you
help
like my background?
I like it. I really do.
I was busy bee.
How long did it take?
Well, I ordered all this. I painted back here really bad because I have to say I put that sticky stuff on for my background. I still have it on the other walls, and they keep falling off.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's too much moisture in the basement. So I couldn't get the sticky stuff, so I painted over it. And then I looked like, oh, it's too white. It doesn't match the rest of the wall. So I got, this is terrible because I'm an artist. I have art supplies. I got some black acrylic paint and I stuck it in the white paint that I was using. I mixed it all up, made gray to match the rest of the walls. And I bought some lights on, I put some wall coverings on that one piece so you can see it looks like a brick wall.
Yeah,
it's
I see that.
It's
nice.
like
I thought it was a brick wall.
No, it looks like a brick wall, and you put it on the wall. There's like a goofy thing that comes out. It's like a shelf back there. So I did that. Got these lights on Amazon, but I'm going to take back. I got this really big one, and it shows pink, and it goes pink, green, and yellow. And I put it on like a pinkish color, but when it shines on me, my face is too pink. It doesn't. It won't. If I don't, there's no way for me to shine it on the wall. Because I got those ones as Gobi lights.
Yeah.
So I got that. And then this thing makes everything purple. That light, chasing prophecy.
Nice contrast.
And I got my angel wings because my morning show.
Doing well, I hear.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's a little chaotic because I'm taking this course on how to become a viral sensation. But it's like you post 3 times a day. I can't at certain times, and I can't keep up with it because I'm having a hard time editing the videos because you just don't do a video. You have to have, like what do you call that? Effects and video. And I cannot freaking for the life of me split the screen. In CapCut, I've been looking at it. I might have to take a class.
Why don't you Vizard? It has a free trial. Why don't you try Vizard and see if you like that one better?
Than CapCut?
You don't have to pay anything. No credit card needed. Just make one and be like, oh, I like this. And then see if you like it.
Vizard.
Yeah, Wizard, but a V instead of a W.
Now, let me ask you something. Does it have a teleprompter in it?
Oh, it's just to make your clips.
Yeah, I am trying to find a teleprompter because I can't memorize. I mean, there's only 30, like almost 7 seconds to 30, but I can't remember everything I want to say. So I need like a teleprompter that looks directly at the camera. Like I can see it like coming down here. Like I'm looking at the camera and I'm reading like, you're not going to believe this. Okay. Something like that. But then you tell the story, but I can't remember. It's like I'm too old now. I can't remember.
You have a Windows computer, right?
Yeah.
Just download an app, teleprompter app.
They have them on Windows? Because I was using it's like I'm trying to, here's my camera. Like you wouldn't believe this story. And I'm trying to tell a story. Did you know Marilyn Monroe was the most famous icon in Hollywood, legend? But did you know one thing about her? That's one of the things I was trying to do. But I can't remember everything. That Billy Graham went to visit her after one of her shows to talk to her about how to find Jesus Christ and be saved. Okay. And she didn't want, she says, I don't want anything to know. I do not want to know about Jesus. Well, the week later, she died. It's like, it was like, that's one of the stories, but you have to say it. I can't remember. I'm an old lady. I'm not going to tell you how old I am on here. What are you doing with your phone?
I am recording just a 2-second video of the one I have that's free from the Microsoft Store, and I'm going to text it to you, and you'll see. I put it right over your face.
Because I spent like hours. I have this one video I have to do for tomorrow. And I cannot, I'm trying to clip myself doing the talking, and above me is pictures of Marilyn Monroe in a video. And I can't figure how to make the,
It's sent. Check your phone.
Oh, we'll see that. Did you send that in a text message?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those are the questions. What? That's us.
Yeah, go ahead and hit play.
Oh, I see.
See how that is? It's free.
Where'd you get that? Did you send me a link for that? That's really cool.
Yeah, let me send you. It's called.
Yeah. Because I'm going to be a viral sensation.
You are. You already are. You just don't know it yet.
No, I'm trying to do this as my job. And then I get sponsors.
You can do a lot.
But it's a lot of work. I've been getting up. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story about my dog, Ava. She has that cancer too.
Love Ava. Yep.
She gets me up 3 times a night like a child to go to the potty.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's pressing on her bladder. So I'm not getting any sleep. So I figure I get up when she gets me up in the morning. So I've been up since 5 a.m. And I've been busy all day long. I did take a little quick nap this afternoon.
Oh, good.
With her because she sits in the hallway and looks at me. Come on, let's go.
So
she just, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
I said, I'm
She's
not ready to go take
really.
a nap. So I go take a nap with her. Every day about 3:00. I lay down with her.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Look what Joe said.
Yes, God bless Ava. Yeah, I feel so bad for this. She's been breathing like she's sleeping.
Labored?
But she labored breathing. I'm like, oh God, she's gonna die. Whoa. And I called the vet. I said, what do I do? Is she in some kind of cardiac failure, like heart failure?
Yeah.
And she says, "We'll bring let us God, I'm dying here. Wait. Do you ever choke on your own?" She's in heart failure. That she wanted me to have her be seen. I'm like, you don't understand, crazy Ava. I would have to drug her up, and that would probably kill her.
Oh.
I mean, I know she's going to the end of life. I know.
Yeah.
But I was hoping that I just wake up one morning and she's gone. You know what I mean? That I don't have to do all that weird Grim Reaper shit. I don't like to do the Grim Reaper stuff.
No. And you would love for the choice, I guess, to be taken out of your hands.
Yeah, I want Jesus just to take her to the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah.
And I would feel comfortable about that. And then I could bury her, but it's still kind of cold outside. I don't want to cremate her because I want to put her in her yard. So I know when I'm out in the pool, she's out there with me. She's just laying on the side.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, you're getting through winter now.
I know. I can't. I've said, gee, that's another thing, Tom.
Do you think time's moving faster? Because I do.
What?
Do you think time's moving faster? Because I do.
Well, yeah, because now I said, damn, I was supposed to lose weight for summertime. I do this every year. It's like, and I have a poll. I'm gonna be like, shampoo us.
Oh.
That's all right. I don't care. I got a big birthday coming up next month, so big birthday.
Big birthday.
When you see how old you are and written down on paper, you go,
oh, it's just your 40th.
I don't feel that way. I mean, my brain doesn't feel that way. My body does, but my brain doesn't.
I hear that.
It's like, no, I'm glad it's getting spring. I just, with spring, you get all that crazy weather. Oh, and then my car.
What happened to that?
I kept on charging my battery.
Yeah.
I have a 2-year, my car's it was from 2022. Okay. It's not that old. It's like 2 years old, 3 years.
Yeah.
What is that, 2 or 3? So, I go out to the car and it's dead. So
Oh no.
my son charged it for me. I drove it around. All of a sudden, I go back to my car and it's dead again. So I went and got a new battery.
Yeah.
Drove it for like 3 days. It was dead in the garage again. So I took it to charged and took it to GMC. And there's some kind of thing that was recalled, but they never called me. Some kind of sensor in like that drains the battery. So now I'm so stupid. I didn't take the battery back. I should have took the battery.
Yeah, you would have got your money back.
Well, I didn't know that. So I'm going to call the company and see if they'll stand by it and give me a replacement like coupon or something. But I already got a battery. So
What do they run nowadays?
Oh my God, this one was like $300.
Oh,
that's a lot.
Yeah.
And it was under warranty, so I'm pissed off.
It's like a heating bill. Jesus.
Yeah, well, you know what? These cars today are so. I'll never get my son. Don't ever get American because they suck. No wonder.
Yeah. Well.
And he said, "Don't get American." Well, maybe it'll get better with Trump. I don't know. But JFK Jr. was confirmed, so we can look forward to having some clean food. Maybe they'll give us some good wheat that we can actually eat it and not have to go on gluten-free if you have like autoimmune diseases and stuff.
It's going to be interesting to see his first 100 days or his first year to see what gets enacted, what gets repealed, all that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Do we have a guest for next week? I
don't know.
I have to go look on my notes.
I don't have anybody.
That's another thing about me.
It's a steel trap up here. Is that what it is?
I have like all these file folders open up there. And I just got to figure out how to close them, but they don't. Then they crash.
We had a wonderful run of guests too,
Yeah, we'll have to get some more guests. I would like to. I got to figure out how to get more guests because I don't know how many I've been on 2018, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 7 years. I kind of ran out of guests. It's like,
what about like
what if I repeat? Yeah, I'm gonna have to start going back to the beginning. And the first were you on the show when I had Brian Sharpless? He was my first person.
Yes.
And
yes,
we did the sleep demons and the paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that's affects
That's always
my
a
whole
fun
thing.
topic.
Huh?
It's always a fun topic. Sleep demons.
Sleep paralysis, it is the worst feeling in the world.
I know.
I used to have that in night terrors where I'd wake up and I'd like be terrified that it's like, and that actually I had them a lot. It's like even not that long ago I'd have them and I'd go into this, my heart won't stop beating fast. It would go up to like 200 beats a minute and I think I'm dying and I can't feel my legs and I call, I'm dying.
Yeah.
And I scare the shit out of my whole family and they take me to get in an ambulance. And the guy tells me in the ambulance, you just had a panic attack at night. I said, get out.
They're scary. I went to the ER for my first one too. They're
I went twice. I mean, it was at night is worse. Watch, I have.
Oh yeah. Well, you never want to go to the ER at night anyway.
I flip on the light in my bedroom and I can't feel my legs. I'm dying. And I go over and take an aspirin because I don't want to have a heart attack.
That's a smart idea though. That's what they tell you on the commercials. Take your aspirin.
Yeah, but when I was a little kid and those creatures would stand at the foot of the bed.
Nope.
And they look like they were aliens. I don't care. It goes back to the movie, the show, Evil.
Yeah.
And there's evil demonic creatures in your room at night, and they're like, and there's the ones that sit on top of you, and they
terrifying.
They are terrifying. They're very terrifying.
Well, if they're short, get a bunk bed.
Well, you know what? I have one of those. I have what do they call them? Adjustable beds I got at
Oh, how do you
I
like
don't
them?
Temper. Oh, I love it. I'm in love with my bed. I swear to God. It is the best thing. I
Is it
mean,
the kind
I
that
got
goes
the
up?
firmest. Yeah, I got the
Okay.
firmest mattress because my back is so screwed up.
Yeah, me too. I
But
like
this
firm.
thing, and it has zero gravity. It is so cool. And Ava goes way up in the air because when she's on it, but it has zero gravity. But I can't sleep like that. So there's like a snoring one. Like there's like snoring button. It just lifts your head a little bit, and then you can watch TV, you could put your legs up to elevate your legs, but the zero gravity is when I take my nap, I love the zero
Okay.
gravity. I don't
So
have
try it.
that one where what else does it do? It doesn't cool you or anything like that, but it has like a vibrator thing, and Dave always sits on the and I can't get it. She sits on I don't use that. That's stupid. It doesn't do anything. It was a waste of money, that one. It was like, doesn't really do.
I don't know who could sleep with, didn't vibrating beds go out in the 80s in the
Yeah,
motels
I
and
don't know
stuff?
why it even has that. I would have rather had it have a USB port or something like that, like for your
That's a
phone.
great feature. Like right on
They
the
do
bedside.
have them on the newer ones. They my brother got one with that. I would have liked that instead of that stupid vibrating thing.
Yeah, that's a good feature. Really
But
is.
this bed is it's wonderful, especially if you have a bad back because it's the firmest one I could get. It is the best bed. It's the best investment. Yes, it's very expensive, but it was the best investment because when I sleep, I really sleep good until I get wakened up by Ava. But if I didn't have her, I'd probably sleep throughout the night because it's really good. And then I got those. I don't know if the stand for your phone. I love that thing too, and it has a place for your iPhone. I mean your
Okay.
watch.
You can
It has
charge
a
both.
place for that. Yeah, it's the best thing I ever bought. I should probably do
You should do a gadget
see.
review.
Yeah, I should. I mean, I was doing that on TikTok. I mean, it's so funny me doing reviews on TikTok.
No,
Then I got this.
seriously, because like if you come across as somebody who actually uses it instead of somebody who bought it and
Yeah, and I did. I got one of them walking pads. They're like a treadmill, but they're called a walking pad because they're really little. Because I
oh
can't
yeah, I've
get.
seen them. They just lay on the floor.
I hate my big treadmill because it stops on me. Well, this one I wasn't paying attention, and for some reason I got off too fat, and my arm went way out. My leg went. It's my bad leg. I said, "Damn it! I screwed it up even more than it was." That's why I got the stupid treadmill, the pad, because I can't.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
My leg is so screwed up when I was in my car accident that as I get older, it's getting worse. When you think and there's nothing you can do for it because it's all nerve pain.
I
It's
know.
not like I have a broken bone or I'm on bone. It's not like that. It's like I have nerve pain where I had a huge hematoma and and then it damaged the nerve so bad. But it's like, what do you do for that kind of pain? It's
Yeah.
like,
There's nothing you really can do.
there's nothing you can do. It's like you can't replace tissue. So what do you do? Live with it. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm doing. So I told everybody my health issues, my dog problems. What else we can talk about?
No, it's
But
wonderful. We get to know
yeah,
you. We get to know
you
you
got to
more.
know me. I'm a real hoot. Hoot hoot. Don't
Hoot
pollute.
owl.
Yeah, the funny thing is when I'm done here, I'm gonna go walk on the treadmill for a little bit. I know that sounds stupid. It's what time? But I drank a Diet Coke, and it's I shouldn't have did that this late. But I will
Why?
look at that teleprompter, and I will
Yeah.
look at that
I
up.
sent
Maybe
you
it'll
a
be
picture of what the
easier
actual app is called.
because it's so. I'll tell you when I'm
You
done
can
with.
change the speed too if it's going too slow for you. But
Yeah, I don't want it too fast and want to be more natural. So I'm looking at I just want to. I don't want to read everything. I just want to see in case I need the notes because you know how many times I hit record and delete today?
oh, I get it. Believe me, I know what you're talking
100
about.
times.
Yeah.
Not making fun of myself. Like,
Have you ever let me tell you this. Have you ever, whether it's a recording or a video, have you ever started it and you're about to go and you're like, damn it, and you click and you have to redo it.
yeah.
You don't even get one word out. You're like, shoot.
Oh, thanks, Joe. Joe, too bad you're not a single. I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
Woo-hoo.
I'm teasing. I was just telling my son, my daughter-in-law at dinner. another Valentine without a Valentine. And my daughter goes, but Lukey, my little
Yeah.
1-year-old grandson, he was so cute. You have Lukey. So I went up to Lukey. I go, are you my Valentine? And he looked and he gave me a kiss. It was so sweet.
Oh, that's adorable.
I know. So he's my Valentine. He's only like a midget, but he's like this high.
Well,
I
there
just
you
love
go.
him to death. He's a sweetheart. My son
Absolutely.
named him after Luke Skywalker because that's his favorite.
Okay.
Jenny sent you a message. You did. You sent me a message. What kind of message did you send me, Nicole? I like messages in a bottle. That was my favorite movie with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be a good week, I hope.
Yeah.
So we got to find a guest for next week.
I'm sure we'll find somebody. You know how we do.
Yeah, I should tell John Ventry if he wants to come on the show, but sometimes he just talks too bad.
No.
Yeah. All right, we've been on too long. I got to get up and go do the machine and go let Ava out so she can wake me up at 2 a.m., 4:30, and 5 o'clock.
Oh, geez.
3:30 and 5 o'clock. Then yeah. Tell
I'm
me
praying
about
for
it.
you.
Yeah, you should. Yep, be guest on my show. Oh, sure, I'll be a guest on your show. We're gonna talk about aliens. That's my favorite topic.
Bring up
Aliens.
Thunderbirds.
And Thunderbirds scare me.
There's a lot of 2024 reports if you check the internet.
Actually, yeah, because February is a really good time for those Thunderbirds for some reason. Yeah, I got to go. That reminds me, I got to go get some bird seeds for my birds. My
Don't feed the
cardinals are probably
Thunderbirds.
mad. I feed my birds. We have a deal, me and my birds. Honest to God. I made a deal with them. I said, I'll feed you if you don't poop on the pool deck in the porch.
Seems fair.
And they don't.
No, that's great. They respect it.
They respected me because I give them the food and they don't do it. And I'm not kidding you. There's no poop on my porch and there's no poop on my pool deck.
That's so sweet.
And the bird feeder is right near the pool deck in the porch.
I can see you come out and there's a white spot and you're like, all right, fess up. Which one of
Well, I'm praying that that lightning didn't knock out the pool filter and the heater. We had that problem with the heater last summer, so I'm hoping it didn't. That lightning was very, very scary.
Yeah.
They said electrician said that when lightning strikes, it goes all through the ground, all around the ground, your house, everything, and that's why you lose. The surge in my fuse box. Your box. My son went to turn on the outside power to the yard, and when he did it, it sparked. He turned it. Yeah, so that's why we had the electrician come.
Yeah,
I saw a large black crow on the top of my house today.
That's not good.
They scare me. Crows scare me.
Hopefully it wasn't a crow. According to lore, that means somebody might go soon.
It's been raining all over the place here today. It was. I wonder if it did turn to snow.
It rained here. Rain where you are. She's in California. It's raining.
Raining all man. It always rains in California. Is that what that song says?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, dokey pokies. Okay, guys. See you later. It was great being with you tonight. We'll have a guest next week. We'll hopefully have somebody interesting. And if not, we'll just sit here and bullshit.
Let's dress up as guests and just interview each other.
I'll wear a mask. I'll wear a wig. Oh, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna wear my.
I'll
be your guest. I'm gonna wear my red hair.
First, if I interview you,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it next week. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll wear my wig.
There you go.
Yeah. Okie dokie
All right,
pokies.
everybody.
Have a great night, and thanks for tuning in. Love you.